Hello, this is Professor Francis, and here we have yet another question for our students. Okay, this is a physics question, and let's go ahead and jump right in. So it states Jane looking for Tarzan is running at a top speed of 5.6 meters per second and grabs a vine hanging vertically from a tall tree. How high can she swing? Upward. Okay. So we have to look at this question. Okay, to solve this question, we need to use some uh, basic physics laws. One is conservation of energy, right? So all of that energy she's created when she's from running, that's kinetic energy of Jane running, is going to be equal to 1/2 mv squared, where v is the velocity that she's running. We're going to write that over here. V they've given us is 5.6 meters per second. Now, that energy is going to be transferred into potential energy based on the height that she swings, right? And that height is pretty much the energy transferred from Jane's kinetic energy when she was running, right? And the formula for potential energy is going to be mass times gravitational constant, not constant, gravitational acceleration times the height, right? We know the value of G is 9.8 meters per second, so we wrote that down as known. Okay, and finally, we have to know what they're looking for. They want to know how high she can swing upward running at that rate. So the desired value we wrote here is H. Right? So how do we do this? Well, we equate the two because we know we're transferring from kinetic energy to potential energy. So kinetic energy will equal potential energy in this situation. And then we plug in the formulas for each. We have the formula for kinetic energy is 1/2 mv squared, which we write here. And we have the formula for potential energy is mgh, which we have here. Okay. Now what we're going to do is, so we write the appropriate formula. That's step number one, right? That's what we did here. Next thing we're going to do is we know that we're looking for height. So we're going to solve this equation for the variable height, which is h, right? We know m is for mass, v is for velocity, and g is for acceleration of gravity, h is for height. So we're going to solve this equation for height, h. What that means is we're going to use algebra to get the h value by itself on one side of the equation and everything else on the other. Right? So let's go ahead and do that. Right? And when we do this, we're going to divide both sides. We see h is over here, and it's being multiplied by the mass and the acceleration of gravity. So we're going to we're going to do the opposite operation, divide this side by mg to cancel that out. And then whatever we do on one side of the equation, the equal sign, we have to do the same on the other. So we're going to divide this side by mg as well. And this has gotten us our equation. So h equals 1/2 mv squared over G. Now, why did I say G and not include the M? Because the M's cancel out here, right? We have, these are both the same mass. So this mass cancels out with that mass. We just end up with 1/2 or 0.5. Right? Oh, let's go down here. Solve for the variable. Yeah, these cancel out, right? We end up with 1/2 of 0.5 times V squared divided by G. And then, of course, on this side, we end up with H, which is what we wanted, right? Okay, so then we're going to go ahead and we're going to plug in the numbers to that formula. So we get 0.5 times V squared over G. We know the value of V. They've given us is velocities, 5.6. So we plug that in over here, right? And we square it, right? And then in the denominator, we have G, which is acceleration of gravity. We know that value. It is 9.8 meters per second. So we plug that in over here, right? And then we go ahead and carry out the arithmetic. So we have to multiply 0.5 times, first we have to square 5.6, right? And that square, when we square that, we get 31.36. Then we multiply that by 0.5. We do that, we get 15.68. And then we go ahead and we divide that by the acceleration of gravity. And our final answer is going to be 1.6 meters. So for the answer to the question of how high can she swing upward, she's going to swing 1.6 meters upward. So H equals 1.6. So I hope that helped, guys. If it did, please remember to like and subscribe, and I will see you on the next question.